Okay.
Oh, it's 11:02.
Here we have gathered side by side, circle of kinship, come and step inside. May all who seek here find a kindly word. May all who speak here feel they have been heard. Sing now together this our heart's own song. Here we have gathered, called to celebrate days of our lifetime, matter small and great. We of all ages, women, children, men, infants and sages, giving what we can. Sing now together this our heart's own song. Life has its battles, sorrows and regret, but in the shadows let us not forget. We who now gather know each other's pain. Kindness can heal us as we give, we gain. Sing now in friendship this our heart's own song.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane, where our mission is to join together to create a nourishing, liberal religious home and to champion justice, diversity, and environmental stewardship in our wider world, or as we like to say in short, to create community, find meaning, and work for justice. Welcome to each and every one of you. I want to begin as usual by welcoming all that you bring with you to this space, all of your unique beliefs, your background, your lifestyle, your experiences, your differences, and your similarities. And this, of course, includes those of you who are meeting in person with us this morning. We're glad to have you, whether you're here as our regulars or maybe joining us for the first time. You're equally as welcome and appreciated. Glad to have all of you with us today. And this also includes the many of you who are streaming with us, live streaming with us this morning. So glad to have all of you too. So welcome to one and all. I want to begin with a couple of announcements. One, a reminder that next Sunday after our second service, our 11 o'clock service, we are having a fall harvest dessert potluck. So please bring your favorite harvest-style dessert, and if you want to bring your own, pack your own lunch to go with it, that's okay too. That'll be happening here following our second service. For those of you who are streaming with us, I'm sorry that we have not yet been able to digitize dessert and send it your way, but I do hope that you will have something sweet just this once to spoil yourself in solidarity with our harvest dessert potluck. Also next week, our guest speaker is going to be Carmen Pacheco-Jones, who will speak to us about bringing communities from crisis to thriving. Given that she has spent her teenage years in the foster care system, and today is the founder and executive director of Health and Justice Recovery Alliance, is an equity strategist consultant for Empire Health Foundation, a co-chair of the Washington State Reentry Council, and the board vice president of the Northwest Justice Project. Carmen will have a lot of wisdom and experience to share. So please join us for that. And also, it's very rare, I know, but I'm going to be out 2 Sundays in a row this month. So October 30th, I will not be in the pulpit either, but we are going to have one of our YIMUU services, which are always wonderful, where we have 3 of our members come up during the sermon time and share why they're part of this congregation, why they're Unitarian Universalist. It's always wonderful to be able to hear the personal stories and the ideological foundation of some of our members. So I hope you'll join us for those too, to show them your support, as well as to show our wonderful guest speaker team, who works very hard to make sure we have outstanding services in our service when I'm out of the way. Hopefully most of them are outstanding when I am here, but we certainly know we can have outstanding services when I'm gone. So here's your chance to enjoy a couple of them. All right, let's take a couple of moments now to greet one another. Say hi to those that you look forward to seeing each Sunday. Make some new friends today if there's somebody here you're not familiar with. And if you are joining us for the first time, please try not to be too shy, because we're very glad that you're here. Okay, and more opportunity to visit during our social hour following the service, so I invite you all to stay around for that. By the way, I should welcome Dixie Marshall, who is our guest pianist today. I always forget to do that at the beginning, but then I hear her beautiful playing, and I say I have to point out that Dixie is here. Not only is she just an outstanding musician, but one of the nicest people I think I've ever met, and it's very nice of you to be here with us today, so thank you. Yeah. Okay, we are now going to light our chalice, which is the symbol of our faith, the symbol of our unity and our solidarity, of our openness and our inclusion, of our community and our individual uniqueness. May this small flame be our offering of warmth to those who are cold and alone, and a light to those in darkness. May it be a flame that ignites justice in our world and a beacon of hope to those in need, and may it reflect at least a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and cast a healthy shadow of doubt wherever it's been found.
Knowing the truth is not about finding it. To discover the truth, one has to recognize it. Recognizing truth requires realizing wisdom, which means a blend of experience, knowledge, and good judgment about the subject, and has utmost importance. This is from the Praising Jane Academy.
Our first in-service hymn this morning is number 301 in your hardback hymnal if you want to access it there, or up here, the screen has words. It is Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky. Please stand as you're willing and able to sing it with me.
We will now kindle our candles of care for those who are most on our hearts and minds this morning. I did not receive any specific requests for candles, but want to begin as we have been for the people of Ukraine and the rest of that region of the world that are being most impacted by the war and violence that's going on there. Let's take a moment of silence on behalf of others that you might be thinking of this morning, and as always, you're welcome to name them aloud at this time if you'd like. Those named aloud and those embraced in our silence, and all those who are suffering in our world at this hour, we hold in our community with compassion. We do have a special collection this month. This month's special collection will go to the Carl Maxey Center, founded by the late Sandy Williams, who was sadly, tragically killed recently, as I'm sure many of you know, along with 9 other people in a terrible plane crash. When Sandy first began dreaming about the center, she came to us for help, and we helped her raise thousands of dollars to make her dream for our community a reality. The mission of the Carl Maxey Center is to inspire, empower, uplift, and advocate for Spokane's Black community. Its vision is to be a model for building generational wealth, educational excellence, justice, and cultural vibrancy. It seems only fitting now that we honor her work and her memory by helping to sustain this important part of Sandy's legacy. If you received a special collection envelope this morning, I invite you to, and you want to contribute to this, you can use that special collection envelope. No need to seal it. We will reuse it. If you did not receive a special collection envelope and want to, I think maybe our ushers have some extra ones you can hand out. Great. So they're ready. So with that, I should say, thank you for your generosity in advance. I know I appreciate it, and our community does as well. So we now gratefully give and receive this morning's offering, which helps sustain this community and our mission to the larger world.
See children. There is one sitting over there. I don't mind if you stay there, if you hear me well. Okay? Well, I'm going to tell you about my experience in having a dialogue with a wild turkey near my home. I'm bilingual, you know. My first language is Russian. I thought I can speak Turkish. Well, you know which Turkish. But first, some interesting facts about these birds. According to scientists, wild turkeys have a reputation of sensitive, intelligent, and, can you imagine, very social birds. Just like we humans, turkeys can talk. They have 28 distinctive calls, including a purring-like sound, to keep in touch with the other turkeys. I bet you have heard turkeys gobble. I learned that only male turkeys make this loud, rapid, gurgling sound. I have learned also that adult male turkeys are called toms and females are called hens. When their mating season is over, turkeys of feather flock together, I mean separate sexes. Unlike toms, hens look very plain, not remarkable in appearance. But a male turkey is recognized immediately by its snood. That's the name of that reddish, fleshy bit hanging off its beak. When a male turkey is relaxed, his snood is short, just about half an inch. But if the bird feels threatened or angry, the snood fills up with blood and extends, hanging down like a long reddish noodle. One day, when I was driving along our street home, I saw a small flock of turkeys on my right. They were picking something near the curb. One of them, the bigger one, evidently the leader, Tom, began to cross the street. Therefore, I slowed down, even stopped. Thankfully, there were no cars behind me. Well, I expected the other turkeys would follow the leader. However, they did not. Then I saw the bigger turkey change its direction. The bird turned around and started walking towards my car. A long snood was hanging down over its beak. I knew it was a male turkey, but I didn't pay much attention to the warning signs, not just the length of the snood, but its pretty red color. Then I heard this loud sound. "Gurgle, gurgle, 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 get out of here," said the bird, coming very close, almost touching the hood of my car. I rolled down the window and asked the bird, "What is wrong? I am waiting until you cross the street." Continuing to gobble, the turkey walked up, straight to the driver's side, looked at the opening of the car window. "Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle, I told you to go away," said the turkey. I had a feeling the turkey was measuring the distance to the window for his attack. "How can I move when you're so close?" said I, and began to drive slowly. The turkey was following my car, gobbling non-stop. "Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle, get out of here, get out of here." I was puzzled. Why was the turkey angry with me? I did nothing wrong. Was it the yellow color of my car that looked threatening to the bird, and the turkey was planning a preemptive attack? I had no idea. You can tell my communication with the bird was not very successful. Was it because we spoke different languages? Then why? Even if we speak the same language, we have problems understanding each other. Do you know why? Thank you.
The meditation today is from Jack Kornfield. Buddhist monks begin each day with a chant of gratitude for the blessings of their life. Native American elders begin each ceremony with grateful prayers to Mother Earth and Father Sky, to the four directions, to the animal, plant, and mineral brothers and sisters who share our earth and support our life. In Tibet, the monks and nuns even offer prayers of gratitude for the suffering they have been given. You are invited to reflect on all the people and things you are grateful for.
In 1994, astronomer Carl Sagan wrote about a 1990 photograph of the Earth taken by the Voyager space probe when it was 4 billion miles away. Here is a small portion of what he had to say. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam.
Susan and I are actually singing two songs, the one formerly and the one right now, that were recorded by Peter, Paul, and Mary. And this one, Bamboo, is actually, I think of it as a little travel song, traveling on the river. And then Todd, of course, is going to take us kind of out into the universe. Okay.
Take a stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo, you throw it on the water. Take a stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo and throw it in the water. Travel on the water. You travel on the river, you travel on the river, you travel on the river, you travel on the water. Oh, 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 no. comes across the water. Stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo, you take a stick of bamboo, you throw it in the water. Water, 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 water.
Thank you both so much. Susan, thanks for being here. The vastness of the universe is not possible for us to fully appreciate or imagine. Each one of us is about 1 billion times bigger than an atom, which makes us sound huge. But the earth we're on is about 1 billion times bigger than each one of us. Big as that seems, it would take nearly 1.4 million Earths to fill the star we call the sun. On a clear night, we can see about 8,000 other stars, only those that are closest to us, which amount to only about 0.0000004% of the estimated 200 billion stars in our relatively small galaxy. But even those closest to us are so far away that we're seeing them as they were long before we were born. Look up at the Big Dipper tonight, and you will see light that took as much as 150 years to reach your retina. Traveling at the speed of light, 180,000 miles per second, it would take about 100,000 years to cross the Milky Way's galaxy that's containing all those stars, which is relatively small, again, compared to other galaxies. It would take 220,000 years to cross Andromeda for existence, our nearest galactic neighbor, so long as you don't mind the additional 2.5 million year trip traveling at light speed it would take to get there in the first place. The minuscule galactic neighborhood that both the Milky Way and Andromeda are in, along with about 100,000 other galaxies, is named Laniakea, home to 100 million billion stars. Yet Laniakea, the Hawaiian word for immeasurable heaven, is only one supercluster of galaxies in the known universe. There are an estimated 10 million other superclusters, each containing hundreds of thousands of galaxies. And the known universe refers only to what we have been able to detect of it so far, based upon the roughly 13.7 billion year background radiation left over from the Big Bang. Since the radiation is in all directions around us, seemingly putting us at the center of the known universe, it would take us twice that much, 27.4 billion years, to cross it, traveling at light speed. If that is, you had a vessel fast enough to cross the Earth's diameter 22 times before you can say 1001, it would take you more than 27 billion years to cross the length of the known universe. In other words, we are mostly not here. Yet as impossibly vast as this may sound, the known universe is to the entire universe less than what the size of a quantum particle is to us. To say that the universe is very big, or even very, very, very big, is a gross understatement. I could not get its vastness by filling an entire page with varies, nor even an entire book. Not even an entire library of books filled with nothing but the word vary over and over again, nor even all the books in all the libraries of the world. All those varies, even if they were the only words ever written, would still underestimate the size of our universe. So large that even traveling at light speed can take eons just to get beyond our own galaxy. Given such incomprehensible vastness, the evidence of our own existence on Earth, and an understanding of mathematical probabilities, we cannot help but conclude there must be life, including intelligent life, elsewhere in the universe. It is even reasonable to conclude it is abundance, an abundance of life in the universe, so much in fact that statistically speaking, there are bound to be many planets with species similar to, if not exactly like, our own. The closest Earth-like planet we know of is Proxima b, just outside our solar system, only 4.24 light years away. And that's not far if we had a vessel that could travel 180,000 miles per second. It was only in 1995 that astronomers discovered the first such exoplanet, meaning a planet that is outside our solar system, which is named 51 Pegasus b. Its discoverers got a Nobel Prize in 2019 because their detection techniques have since been able to help us discover, any idea how many? Since 1995, right? The first one was discovered in 1995. Now there's been more than 4,000 other exoplanets discovered, with thousands more now waiting to be confirmed. In his 2021 book, Extraterrestrial, the first sign of intelligent life beyond Earth, Harvard theoretical physicist Avi Loeb says, the Milky Way hosts tens of billions, the Milky Way, right, that's our galaxy, hosts tens of billions of Earth-sized planets with surface temperatures similar to our own. Overall, about a quarter of our galaxy's 200 billion stars are orbited by planets that are habitable in the way the Earth is, with surface conditions that allow liquid water and the chemistry of life as we know it. With an estimated 50 billion habitable planets in our relatively small galaxy alone, we must conclude the entire universe is teeming with life, including beings as intelligent or even more so than our own. Again, as Loeb says, adding all other galaxies in the observable volume of the universe, right, the observable volume of the universe, increases the number of habitable planets to a zeta. That's 10 with 21 zeros behind it. A figure greater than the number of grains of sand on all the beaches of the earth. And that, again, is just the number of such planets in the known universe, which is itself but a grain of sand compared to the rest of the unknown universe. Despite the object being, let me back up. Perhaps the most astonishing claim in Loeb's book is his explanation of an object observed moving across our solar system for about 3 weeks in October of 2017. Oumuamua is the Hawaiian name given to the object, which means a messenger from afar arriving first, or simply scout. In this case, Oumuamua is the first interstellar object we've ever encountered in our solar system. Interstellar means it originated outside our solar system and was traveling through. Loeb makes a convincing case it is also the first proof of intelligent life in the universe, at least as far as we're concerned. The object has been universally described as weird, mysterious, and strange. Nonetheless, most scientists have used Occam's razor to dismiss its unprecedentedly anomalous qualities as being merely an asteroid or a comet. At first, this detective story seemed like an open and shut case, Loeb says. The likeliest explanation for Oumuamua, that it was an interstellar comet or asteroid, was also the simplest, most familiar one. But as the fall of 2017 progressed, I, along with a significant portion of the international scientific community, found myself puzzling over the data. I, again, along with a significant portion of the international scientific community, couldn't make the evidence neatly fit the hypothesis that Oumuamua was an interstellar comet or asteroid. As all of us struggled to make the evidence fit the hypothesis, I began to formulate alternate hypotheses to explain Oumuamua's multiplying peculiarities. That it's the first interstellar object ever observed in our solar system is the first peculiarity. History-making. And is what caused scientists and astronomers at the time around the world to turn their telescopes on it for about 11 days before it disappeared again into interstellar space. And this is what allowed us to gather all the data about it that helped us identify its other peculiarities. Take the way Oumuamua reflected sunlight, for example. The data proves the strange visitor had an extreme shape that was at least about 5 to 10 times longer than it was wide. Due to its relatively low temperature, as detected by infrared readings, Loeb says, we estimated its length at about 100 yards, or around the size of a football field, and its width about less than 10 yards. Although Oumuamua's actual width could be smaller. These extraordinary dimensions make it what astrophysicists call extreme, an extreme object. So extreme, in fact, there has never been any other object like it detected, including asteroids or comets. With a length at least 5 to 10 times greater than its width, allowed only two possible shapes, Loeb said. Our interstellar visitor was either elongated like a cigar or flat like a pancake. Another physicist mentioned in his book has looked at the data and concluded the likelihood of Oumuamua being cigar-shaped was small, and the likelihood of Oumuamua being disc-shaped was about 91%. Though small, Oumuamua was also 10 times more reflective than typical asteroids and comets. When Oumuamua sped part of the way around the sun, its trajectory deviated from what was expected, based upon the sun's gravitational force alone. There was no obvious explanation for why. And it is this deviation that most convinces Loeb it could not have been an asteroid or a comet, even one with many extreme qualities. So cutting to the quick, what does he hypothesize this messenger from afar arriving first is? Based upon his explanation of the physics involved regarding all the data collected, and without going into all his complicated math, Loeb says Oumuamua must have been designed, built, and launched by an extraterrestrial intelligence. Possibly floating in interstellar space as debris from advanced technological equipment. Can you imagine a species having space debris? From here, you'll have to read the book yourself and find out if you find Loeb's arguments and evidence as convincing as I do. The point in all I've said so far is really meant to open us not merely to the possibility of intelligent life elsewhere in the universe, but to the almost certain likelihood of it. And if Loeb is right, to our own inevitable discovery of encounter with it. There are many forms of intelligent life on Earth. Almost every creature on it demonstrates some intelligence, including turkeys, as we've heard earlier. So to be clear, when I refer to intelligent life in the universe, I mean that which might be comparable to human intelligence or hopefully smarter, with a strong degree of self-awareness and the ability to extend one's powers through the use of tools and technology. There are likely to be beings in the universe that are far more intelligent than we are, given its impossibly unimaginable vastness, especially if they have achieved the ability to travel meaningful distances across space. We have already established the universe is too vast for any species to travel through it, even at the speed of light, without taking eons to get anywhere. If there are intelligent beings in Andromeda, for example, our nearest galactic neighbor, who have developed vessels that can travel at 180,000 miles per second, light speed, it would again take them 2.5 million years to visit Earth. You do not want the kids in that back seat, I can tell you. They could make it in less than 1.3 million years if they have figured out how to travel at double the light speed, which then gets into Einsteinian theories of time travel, which is still a very long time. My point is, achieving contact with such beings by moving through linear space is impossible, not unless they dwell somewhere just beyond our own solar system, can travel at the speed of light, and still don't mind it taking a few years to decades to get here. Space travel, if we can even call it that, across the universe, would require an understanding of quantum mechanics that allows them to get from place to place without moving through space. By perhaps through wormholes, folds in space-time, time travel, or dematerializing machines that enable them to rematerialize anywhere by taking advantage of quantum entanglement, if that is even possible. Einstein's spooky action at a distance. If there are species that can do so, then they are far superior to us in intelligence and may consider us about as intelligent as we might consider chimpanzees compared to ourselves, or even as smart as our domesticated pets, dogs and cats. Then again, it could be that we could easily understand such technology if they simply explained to us how it works, since we do have a basic understanding of physics, which would still make us relatively equal to them in intelligence, give or take a few neurons and folds of our cerebral cortex. But for now, let's just assume that the universe is littered with intelligent beings like us or even smarter than us, but that we will never make contact with them because meaningful space travel is impossible. They're just out there. If this is the case, is there anything we can know about them? Anything we can conclude must be true about all intelligent beings? It would be impossible to know if all intelligent species are religious, or at least have gone through some religious phases in their development. If we have, then certainly some of them have, even if some have not. But we can be sure that none of them have ever heard of Christianity or Islam or Judaism or Buddhism or any of the other religions that so many of us have been willing to kill or die for, or feel certain hold the key to ultimate truth. They never heard of those religions. There probably wouldn't be any Republican or Democrat aliens, I would imagine, even if some of them do engage in their own kinds of politics. We can't even know if all intelligent beings have feelings. It's likely they all have bodies of some kind, but do they share the same primary emotions that we have? Joy and anger and sadness and fear and disgust and surprise. Some probably do, but some may not. Some cold-blooded aliens may have developed large cerebral cortexes without ever having developed much of a limbic system, the mammalian part of the brain. We can't be sure if they live in oceans or float around in their own atmospheres rather than on land, or if they even have arms and legs or eyes and ears, or all, some, none of, or more of the senses that we have. If the universe is littered with intelligent beings, there are probably some a lot like us and some that are too different for us to imagine. But what we must share in common in order to be intelligent is an understanding of certain universal truths. All other intelligent beings that are at least as smart as us and can extend and augment their abilities through the use of tools and technology must understand complex math, science, physics, logic, and probably music. Even if the latter is experienced quite differently than we experience it, perhaps they experience music through touch, or through light fluctuations, or elegant thoughts. Maybe some aliens smell music. However they experience it, given the relationship between math and music, and the necessity for all intelligent beings to understand math, it seems likely that music is also a near universal experience. The music of the spheres, the ancient mathematician Pythagoras, and the discoverer of octaves, called it. So that's about it. The only things we can assume we must share in common with other intelligent beings is our knowledge of mathematics, science, physics, logic, music, and the use of tools and technology which are created from these sciences. It is not necessary that all intelligent beings are biological, although I would imagine most of them, if not all of them, started that way. Some species, more advanced than our own, may have evolved into intelligent machines, and some may even now enjoy digital existences stored in quantum fields or in the fabric of space-time itself. Given where computer science is even now on our own planet, these ideas are not far-fetched. But another thing we share in common with all other intelligent beings in the universe, no matter how much more intelligent they might be, or how different, is that we are all from the same universe. Everything and every being that exists in the universe today comes from stardust originating during the Big Bang. Every being that is alive anywhere in the cosmos is related. We are kin. No matter how different, how alien we might seem, we are all part of one cosmic family because we are all related. We all come from the same source and are made of the same stuff. It is even possible the DNA shared by all life on Earth originated elsewhere in the universe. and arrived here, like all the water on our planet did, on asteroids. This is an idea that is ancient, but is now being seriously entertained by some scientists. Directed panspermia is the name of this theory, which I won't go into, but it was first coined by Francis Crick, one of the discoverers of DNA, in a 1974 article. And it helps explain how the Earth, which was uninhabitable, unhospitable to life for its first 3.8 billion years, but was able to produce life only 200,000 years later. How could DNA have evolved so quickly to become life? Directed panspermia helps us solve this riddle, and if true, would mean that our DNA may be exactly the same DNA, at least shared by some life forms elsewhere. And here's the real point of all of this. If we are but one intelligent species among many, at home, alone, on our very own pale blue dot, as Carl Sagan called it, a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam, how is it possible during our brief history together that we have drawn so many lines between ourselves based on the slightest of differences? Language, tribe, nation, neighborhood, ideology, theology, gender, pigment, sexuality, class, politics, identity. How can these make us think we are so different from our brothers and sisters that we can hate them and exploit them and kill them? The earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena, Sagan said. Yet think of the rivers of blood spilled by all those generals and emperors, so that in glory and triumph they could become the momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of this pixel on the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. There's a common theme in science fiction stories that if humanity were to be invaded by beings from another world, we would finally forget all these differences and band together to defeat our common enemy. Not going to happen. That is the stuff of science fiction. Why would we expect a common enemy to bring us together when we already have so much else in common, including climate change, which has become but another dividing line between us? The solution, rather, is not creating a common enemy, which is the cause dictators and despots have used for centuries to further divide us, but to better appreciate our common humanity. We must fulfill and further Dr. King's dream that one day little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. Today we must dream even bigger, to also include little gay boys and girls, little Russian and Ukrainian boys and girls, little wealthy and homeless boys and girls, little Texan and Mexican boys and girls, little liberal and conservative boys and girls. If in this vast universe there is no such thing as an alien, because we are all related, all born and fashioned from the same stuff, how can we consider anyone on earth an alien? foreigner, homeless. How can we exile and excommunicate each other because of our slight differences? How can we erect ideological purity codes when, as Salman Rushdie says, we should rejoice in the mongrelization of our species and fear the absolutism of the pure? How can we keep singing our national anthems and My Country 'Tis of These when we should be singing Come, Come, Whoever You Are? This land is my land. This land is your land. This land was made for you and me. This world is my world. This world is your world. This world was made for you and me. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world, Sagan said. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another, to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we have ever known. Thank you.
Well, our closing hymn for this morning is number 134, Our World is One World. Please stand as you're willing and able.
For the benediction, words of Khalil Gibran. The teacher who is indeed wise does not bid you enter the house of his wisdom, but rather leads you to the threshold of your own mind. Amen. Blessed be. Salam alaikum and shalom.
Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom.